Welcome to the deep dive. Today is a bit different. We're focusing entirely on just one source.
hmm
It's a pretty powerful, urgent warning from someone named Paul Yee. His life has spanned, 76 years? Across 3 continents, witnessing massive political shifts.
Yeah, and the core thing here is that he's chosen to break 57 years of deliberate political silence
57 years. Why now?
because he says he recognizes a pattern, a very specific repeating formula for ideological consolidation. He's seen it before.
Okay, so this isn't just like an opinion piece.
No, not at all. He frames it as pattern recognition. He
Mm.
draws parallels between the experiences of the Jewish diaspora, the history of the Holocaust, and then connects that to his own family's flight from China, his time in South America.
Right.
And his mission, he says, is pretty straightforward. Use this history to encourage citizens, specifically you listening, to really exercise your conscience, to speak out.
And to vote based on justice and truth, not just party lines.
Exactly. It's a call to conscience, rooted in recognizing historical echoes.
So our goal in this deep dive is to map out this pattern he identifies
Mm.
and critically understand how he argues it's, well, manifesting right now in the U.S., specifically through actions linked to this thing called Project 2025.
It's a really potent connection he's drawing. Deep history meeting the immediate present. It's quite high stakes.
Definitely. To really get the weight of his argument, we probably need a bit of context on him, right? His perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. His lens is unique. Paul Yee, born Shanghai in 1948.
Okay.
His family wasn't just in China, they were deeply connected. We're talking top levels of political and cultural power.
Like who?
Well, figures like Zhang Daqian, the famous painter,
Huh.
Fu Lei, the revered translator, even generals who became major figures in the nationalist government, like Chen Cheng.
Wow. So not outsiders looking in.
Not at all. His family even had ties to the military elites in the Guangxi region. The point is, they had a front row seat. They saw the collapse of one system, the violent rise of the next.
And the instability hit them directly.
Immediately, they had to flee Shanghai in 48, the year he was born.
Where did they go?
First Macau for several years, then eventually Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Brazil. Okay, and that's significant too.
Hugely significant, because Yi was there in 1964, during the military coup.
Right. The one that exiled Paulo Freire.
Exactly. A coup supposedly to prevent communism, but which led to widespread repression. And Freire, the educator, was a key target. Yi witnessed that transition too.
So China, then Brazil. When did he come to the U.S.?
He arrived here in 1967,
Mm-hmm.
but he came carrying this mandate from his father. A final warning. Basically, do not involve yourself in politics anywhere. It won't benefit you or your future family.
And he listened.
For 57 years.
Mm.
Strict adherence, which is why him speaking out now, well, you have to ask what pattern is so alarming that it breaks that kind of silence.
Okay, let's get into the pattern itself then. He breaks it down.
Yeah, he lays out a 4-step formula based on China, Brazil, his study of history, a formula for ideological consolidation.
How does it start? What's the public pitch?
It always starts with the claim, the public justification.
Okay.
It sounds corrective or defensive, like correcting imbalances or restoring order, maybe preventing threats.
Stuff that sounds reasonable, necessary even.
Precisely. It's packaged for public acceptance.
Okay, so you establish that public legitimacy. Then what's the method? How does it actually work?
The method is operational. It's tactical. Step 1, coordinate lots of organizations, create a sort of united front.
Okay.
Step 2, systematically eliminate independent expertise, often framed as, needing loyalty.
Right, get rid of the people who might push back based on facts or experience.
Exactly. Step 3, replace them. Put in loyal ideologues who will follow the agenda.
Got it.
Step 4, concentrate power. Pull control into fewer hands, and then, crucially, suppress dissent. Make it hard or dangerous to object.
And the end result, he argues, is never what was claimed.
Never. The result is always consolidation of power, not correction of problems. Independent thought gets crushed, replaced by obedience.
Can we look at some examples he uses? How did this play out in China for his family's circle?
Yeah, the China example, 1948-1966, stark. Consolidation quickly turned on people who had initially even cooperated or supported the regime.
Like his father's colleagues?
Right? Fu Lei, the translator, supported the new government initially, later targeted during the Cultural Revolution. He ended up committing suicide after intense persecution.
Wow.
Zhang Daqian, the painter, forced into perpetual exile. His views just weren't orthodox enough for the consolidated power structure.
So even being aligned wasn't enough. If you had independent standing.
You eventually became a liability. Exactly. The purge isn't just about removing active opposition. It's about eliminating any source of authority or prestige that isn't the regime itself. It demands total loyalty, not just contribution.
And he saw this kind of dynamic elsewhere, too.
Absolutely. He points to Chen Cheng in Taiwan, using the White Terror campaign to enforce policies. It shows the impulse to suppress independent thought isn't tied to one ideology, like communism. It's a feature of the consolidation process itself.
Okay, let's switch to Brazil then. The 1964 coup claimed to be anti-communist, but the action was exiling Paulo Freire, the literacy guy. That seems specific.
It is specific, and this is a crucial point Yi emphasizes. Why target literacy campaigns?
Yeah, why?
Because, Yi argues, literacy combined with critical consciousness, teaching people not just how to read, but how to read the world critically creates, quote, populations ungovernable through manipulation.
Ah, so if people can think for themselves, question authority.
They become a threat to the consolidation project. He points to Cuba as an example that consolidation is probably feared. They slashed illiteracy from over 20% down to like 4% in just 1 year.
Wow.
That speed demonstrates the power of an informed, critically aware population.
Yeah.
That's the power Freire represented, and that's why he was targeted.
That's a really powerful insight. So in the 60s, the target was literacy, the ability to think critically. Yi is arguing the modern target is what? Independent expertise.
Yeah, exactly. Suppressing the ability to know critically, using facts and evidence that might contradict the desired narrative.
And that brings us to Project 2025.
Right. He sees it following this historical four-step formula almost perfectly, based on the plans laid out by the Heritage Foundation and, well, over 100 allied conservative organizations.
Okay, so what's the claim for Project 2025?
The public claim is, restore constitutional balance, drain the swamp. Sounds like needed reform, right? Administrative cleanup.
Sure, but the actual methods, Yi says, follow the pattern.
That's his argument.
Yeah.
And the core mechanism he points to is something called Schedule F.
Schedule F. Okay, what is that exactly? Sounds bureaucratic.
It does, but its potential impact is huge. Schedule F is a proposed reclassification for federal employees. It would take potentially 50,000 or more career civil servants.
These are the non-political professional staff, scientists, economists, policy experts.
Exactly. People hired for expertise, not politics.
Yeah.
Schedule F would reclassify them into an at-will employment status.
Meaning
They could be fired instantly for essentially any reason, like political appointees. They lose their civil service protections.
Okay, that doesn't sound minor at all. What's the effect?
The effect, Yi argues, is the gutting of professional neutrality and institutional memory. The moment you make these roles political appointments, you're not prioritizing expertise anymore.
You're prioritizing loyalty.
Ideological loyalty. It allows for, potentially, a wholesale takeover of agency independence. Think about the FBI, the Justice Department, Department of Education, placing them under direct, immediate political control of the White House.
So it's the modern version of silencing the critical thinker, but aimed at the critical expert within the government itself.
That's the argument, replacing professional judgment with political obedience on a massive scale.
This is where he brings in that really striking analogy, right? The Monroe Doctrine turned inward.
Yes, it's deliberately provocative language.
Why the Monroe Doctrine specifically?
Because historically, the Monroe Doctrine was America's tool for external control in the Western Hemisphere.
Right, asserting influence, keeping other powers out.
But also, often vassalizing nations, suppressing independent movements or ideas, installing compliant regimes, creating what got called banana republics, where local interests were subordinate to external corporate or political power.
Okay, I see the parallel he's drawing. He's saying Project 2025 aims to do that inside the U.S. government.
Precisely. Vassalize the federal agencies, suppress independent expertise, install loyal political operatives instead of career professionals.
And the potential result he fears is
The internal equivalent, Banana Republic USA, where government institutions become compliant tools, not independent checks or sources of objective information.
That's a very stark warning. Does he offer more evidence for this internal-external parallel?
He does. He points to how some major external policy moves seem to be happening now or are being discussed with very little democratic input.
Like what?
Things like major military maneuvers, aggressive rhetoric towards allies like Canada, even talk about demanding Greenland. These things proceed without much public debate or consensus building.
And he sees that as mirroring the internal strategy.
Yes. Decisions like implementing Schedule F or potentially deploying federal troops domestically. These are also planned as executive actions, not requiring broad consensus. It's the same pattern of concentrated power acting decisively, both outward and inward, bypassing deliberation.
Okay, now there's a huge factor here that makes this different from China in the 50s or Brazil in the 60s.
Technology.
Right. AI, quantum computing, the spatial web.
Yeah.
This is the first time an ideological consolidation project has these kinds of tools available.
And that's what makes it, in Yi's view, an unprecedented level of threat. These tools create a fundamental choice.
A fork in the road.
Absolutely. On one path, these technologies could finally enable true, deep democratic participation, real-time deliberation, secure voting, transparent governance.
With the other path.
The other path is they become the ultimate tools for authoritarian control. Surveillance, manipulation, targeting dissent on a scale never before possible.
He uses Elon Musk as an example of this choice, doesn't he? Between creation and capture.
He does. He points out that the immense resources and technological power controlled by someone like Musk could have been used to build that democratic infrastructure. Secure e-voting, transparent platforms, tools for citizens to deliberate collectively.
But that's not what happened in Yi's view.
No. Yi argues that what actually happened, or is happening, is the capture of vast amounts of data, including federal data for targeting purposes, building surveillance infrastructure, and, crucially, coordinating with the architects of this consolidation plan.
So the tech that could empower democracy is instead being weaponized to potentially undermine it.
That's the stark warning. The tools are ambivalent. It's about who wields them and for what purpose.
Given that, what paths forward does Yi see for Americans? He lays out choices.
He presents three possible futures. Pretty stark ones.
Yeah.
Path 1, oligarch weaponization,
Mean.
meaning citizens remain passive, maybe cynical or disengaged. The elite successfully weaponize AI and data for targeting and control. And the result is the banana republic model he fears. Consolidation succeeds.
Okay, path 1 is passive acceptance leading to consolidation. What's path 2?
Path 2 is bloodshed.
Oh.
Yeah. He says, tragically, this is the common historical pattern. When determined ideological consolidation meets passionate resistance, and there aren't effective, peaceful, democratic ways to resolve the conflict or check power, the outcome is often violence.
A grim historical lesson. Is there a third path?
Yes, path 3 is what he calls democratization. And he adds, significantly, this is the path never tried before.
Never tried before. What does it involve?
It requires active citizen engagement, specifically citizens demanding access to and using what he terms AIWI tools.
AIWI. What's that stand for?
It's his concept. Artificial intelligence with intelligence. It's not just about raw AI power, but using technology intelligently, specifically to enable collective deliberation, real consensus building. Using tech to strengthen democracy from the ground up, to act as a check on government overreach.
So using the tools not for control, but for collective thinking and decision-making.
Exactly. It's turning the weapon into a shield and a tool for building something better.
And this connects back to his personal philosophy.
Deeply. This idea of collective intelligence, of contribution, is rooted in how he was raised. You suffering his families, others not for hate or revenge, but as motivation to contribute to a better world.
He mentions specific concepts.
Yes, being taught the spirit of Mao Zedong, the Monkey King. Rebellious, yes, but principled, clever, fighting for what's right, and always acting with Li Yangxing.
Li Yangxing.
Yeah, Li Yangxing. It means the moral heart, conscience, that sense of intrinsic right and wrong. He says that's the fuel for breaking his silence now. It's a matter of conscience.
So he's not just sounding the alarm, he's proposing solutions, demands even.
Concrete demands, yes. Actions designed to directly counter the consolidation methods he described, especially those in Project 2025.
Like what? What are the countermeasures?
Well, things like 247 secure electronic voting on major national issues. Not just electing representatives, but weighing in directly on huge policy decisions.
Real-time democracy.
Transparent governance, making federal agency operations truly open to public scrutiny. Democratizing these AIWA deliberation tools, making them accessible to everyone for public discourse.
What about big decisions, like war?
Requiring genuine citizen consensus before committing to something like war or other major policy shifts. Not just congressional approval, but a broader buy-in.
And critically, countering Schedule F.
Absolutely. He demands the elevation of professional expertise over ideological loyalty tests for all non-political government roles. A direct pushback against replacing experts with political appointees. Restore the independence of the civil service.
It's a call to fundamentally rewire the relationship between citizens, technology, and government.
It really is. And his final warning is about timing. He argues the window is closing.
Why?
Because the groundwork for consolidation is already being laid. The data infrastructure exists. The detailed policies like Schedule F are written. The lists of potential loyalist appointees are reportedly being compiled. He's saying the time for passive observation is over. Deliberation and action need to happen now.
So, if we synthesize Yi's warning, the ultimate mission isn't just about stopping this specific consolidation attempt.
No, it's bigger. It's about seizing this technological moment, enabling everyone, all citizens, to think with these powerful AIWE tools.
Instead of letting a small elite use them against the population for control.
Exactly. It's about democratizing cognitive power itself, using tech to augment collective intelligence, not just elite power.
That really frames the choice starkly.
It does. The source material essentially leaves you, the listener, with that choice. The same technology enabling this potential banana republic consolidation is also the technology that could finally unlock a more radical, resilient, participatory democracy than ever before.
So the question he poses hangs in the air. Will you passively accept the consolidation, the potential banana republic, or will you actively demand the tools and the systems for the deeper democracy that technology now makes possible? That's the question, really, for your collective future.